All right, let's talk about a feeling that so many of us have, but we can never quite find the words for it. It's that sense that you're kind of outgrowing the very people you once felt closest to. Well, it turns out there's a real psychological reason for it.
It all starts right here, with this feeling, a sense of total exhaustion where there used to be energy. And you might start to think you're being a bad friend, right? But psychology offers a completely different and way more powerful way to look at it. This isn't about them, and it's definitely not about you being difficult. It's simply about growth.
And that's the real question, isn't it? Because this kind of evolution, it's quiet. It happens on the inside, and it can leave you feeling pretty isolated and just confused about why things don't feel the same anymore. Now, this is absolutely crucial. What you might be labeling as you being weird or socially awkward is actually evidence of something really profound. Your mind's cognitive processing has fundamentally changed. You're basically operating from a new mental blueprint. This has nothing to do with judging the people around you. It's all about understanding what your own internal reactions are trying to tell you. Your brain has shifted its priorities. It's moved from just surface-level connecting to seeking out truly meaningful engagement. So, let's explore the two key psychological signs that really define this whole experience. So, first up, we've got a concept called value drift. Now, to other people, this might just look like you're becoming distant or that you've changed, but what's really happening is a completely natural internal realignment of what actually matters to you now. Think of it like this. Imagine two ships that set sail together. They start out side by side, but then slowly, almost so you wouldn't notice, they start charting slightly different courses. Neither course is wrong. They just don't lead to the same destination anymore. That, right there, is value drift in action. And here's how this feels in your day-to-day life. You find yourself holding back, not talking about that new book or that career move, because you just know it's not going to land. The conversations just keep circling back to the same old topics, and you walk away feeling like you just performed a role instead of actually connecting. That feeling of emptiness? Yeah, that's the sound of value drift. Okay, let's move on to the second sign, which really builds on that first one. This is called identity stagnation. And this is less about your values and a lot more about the role that your friends expect you to keep playing. This is that deep, draining feeling you get when you realize your friends are still talking to a version of you that just doesn't exist anymore. It's the exhaustion that comes from constantly having to switch back to your past self just to keep things smooth. This is the core conflict, right here. They still see the fun one from college, but now you value quiet nights and deep conversation. They remember the person who loved gossip, but you now crave meaningful, positive connections. That huge gap between who they see and who you actually are, that's where the exhaustion lives. And here's the compassionate truth of it all. You haven't outgrown the people themselves or the love you have for them. You've simply outgrown the character you once were in the story of your friendship. So, let's tie all of this together. What does it really mean when you start recognizing these patterns in your own life? What's the big takeaway from all this? If you have ever felt strange or broken or just out of place because of these feelings, you're not. Please let that sink in. Those feelings are just a misinterpretation of a profound and totally normal internal shift. Your brain isn't being antisocial. It's just developed this incredible, highly tuned filter. It's learned to save its energy for what truly matters. This isn't a weakness. It's a highly specialized strength. And once you can actually name it, value drift, identity stagnation, you stop blaming yourself. You stop feeling so adrift, and you finally start to understand the new operating system your mind is running on. And that is the ultimate truth here. You are never behind. You were just operating on a different level. You know, if this whole thing felt uncomfortably accurate, there's a really good reason for that. These aren't just random ideas. They're fundamental patterns of psychological growth that we all feel, but we rarely have the language to actually describe. And the next explainer that we're putting together explores another one of these powerful patterns that most people never even notice. And honestly, that's what this channel is all about, decoding these hidden dynamics so you can navigate your own evolution with a little more confidence.